Alrighty, I'm Danny with Honest Tint with a tutorial on how to tint a Tesla Model 3. So if you're wondering, where's the car? Obviously it's not there. Basically that is a Tesla Model 3 back window, and we do so many of them that we just decided to purchase the back glass from Tesla to kind of speed up the installation process. So anyhow, this back window is pretty massive and it's going to require an oversized roll to tint. And the roll that I'm using is a 60-inch roll. And the back window dimensions are, I want to say 42 width and 51 in height. So it's pretty massive. And through trial and error, I've noticed that the traditional H pattern, if you're going to shrink it traditionally, the fingers are going to be huge. And I want to say the first 5 that I did were I shrank them traditional. It just didn't make sense. It took too long to shrink, so I decided to turn the H pattern vertically, so analogous to the car, it would look like a capital I. And where I begin shrinking would be the top driver's side of the vehicle. And then I left about a 3-inch excess of film hanging over, so as I shrink, I can just tug and pull, and then work my way down in an even systematic pattern from top to bottom, back up to top, and then back up to bottom. And eventually, once those fingers are relaxed enough, then I'll cart it out. But this back window isn't very hard to shrink. It should only take you no more than 10 minutes. But I will say it takes a little more than a smile to install, especially by yourself, if you're not used to hanging film of that size. And I want to say it's one of the biggest back windows I've ever seen. I haven't seen one bigger than this one, other than the Model X windshield. And it is a little tricky to install, I will say. It's you got to get creative on how you approach it. And again, stay calm when you're shrinking. These fingers do look big, but they do go down, they do form. And for this particular installation, I'm using Lumar. And I just want to fully disclose, I'm not being paid by any window film manufacturer. These are solely my opinions on how the film works, and just want to cover bases there. And necessarily my technique isn't always, it's not the best. Within a limitation are an infinite amount of possibilities. So my way isn't always the right way, and there's a ton of ways to approach this back window, but I found, for me, this is the most efficient and productive way to approach this back glass without spending too much time on shrinking it. But I have used different manufacturers when tinting a Tesla Model 3, and obviously Lumar just melts and conforms so fast, and it's such a breeze to shrink this with Lumar. And also Suntech, it's a breeze. I've had difficulties with the Model 3 back window with Hooper optics. Definitely the balloon method didn't work for me. And again, I don't use Hooper on a daily basis, but I do have clients who wanted it done in Hooper, so we got that done. And the back window did take quite a bit of time to get that to lay down with Hooper optics. For those of you who have worked with that film, it's not easy. And as far as the side doors go and everything else, it's pretty straightforward, just like the Model S. When you do open the doors on the Tesla Model 3, they do go down further than the Model S does. I believe the back roll-up doors go down about 4 inches when you open the back door. And be really careful when you trick the back doors, because it goes up 4 inches, and if that door closes, it's going to damage the chrome molding. So I would really protect that chrome molding on the back doors and even the front doors, because they go up quite a bit and the glass can definitely damage that chrome molding. So avoid that. And be really careful when tinting the front windshield as well. Probably make a video on what to avoid on the front windshield of these cars, because there is a few things. But anyhow, guys, hopefully this sheds some light on how to approach a Tesla Model 3. Everything else is pretty... Oh, and another thing, the defrost on this back window, they're pretty thick, so I would implement whatever thick defrost procedures you guys have. Just make sure you implement those, because these defrosts are pretty thick. Anyhow, guys, thank you for watching and enjoy the video.